there's always going to be people watching just to see if you fail, right? Or there's going to be people who are watching and they're not going to be watching with the intention of supporting until you make it. So it's like you just got to keep those things in mind, right? Like always focus on yourself first, because at the end of the day, for the most part, you only have yourself, right? You're going to have that support, but it's the willingness to do it yourself that is going to separate you from others.
It shows your humanity, right? And like it by like building a personal brand, you got to show your humanity, right? Like, yeah, you're building a reputation for yourself online, but people aren't attracted to corporations anymore, right? Like, they're attracted to being connected with a human being through a screen, right? Like, as weird as it sounds, like, that's how it is right now, you know?
Don't be a product of your environment. Have your environment be a product of you. You can't choose, right, where you're born, your upbringing, your family, your immediate family, right? However, there's going to be a certain point in time where you can realize that, like, hey, my environment's not helping, it's deconstructive. So what is it that I can do, right?
All right, cool, awesome, bro. So, here, hold on.
So
Let me get myself situated, though.
So we live?
Yeah, we're live, bro. We are live. Let me see. Hold on, though.
We are
Because
living.
I did have something written down. Okay, so welcome, bro.
Thanks
So
for
a
having
lot
me.
of people, I know you haven't been making content for very long, but I know a lot of people are stuck in, like, this will be a very valuable conversation for people who feel like they're stuck, or they've been stuck and they felt like creating content for weeks, for months, or even years, but haven't applied themselves to actually do it, either because they're afraid or because of perfectionism, you know. And so, like, if you feel like you're inadequate, you know, to talk about this stuff, I just want to say, like, you're very valuable because you've taken that leap of
Right.
faith, you know. And so like, can you talk about what you're posting right now?
Okay, so just to touch base on what you're asking here in regards to taking that leap into making content.
Yeah.
For me, it was a leap that I've already taken twice, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I feel like as you grow just as a person, if you don't have someone guiding you, right, or someone around you who's already doing it, to start off and doing it yourself is a lot harder than to kind of just get that influence from someone else who's already doing it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really talk about this all that much, but while I was still in high school, content creation wasn't as big as it is now, I feel like.
Right.
And I didn't really have a niche or anything, but I knew that I liked to, like, see, like, YouTubers per se, because that's all it was back then, right?
Right.
And I actually was recording myself, but doing, like, gaming content. I was just playing Clash Royale on my phone at the time, and I was pretty good. Like, I was, like, higher ranked and stuff, and like I would make videos on YouTube that didn't really pick off, but I wasn't consistent. I probably had maybe 10 videos max, and I did get up to like 50 followers maybe, and I think I still have them on my YouTube page, but I stopped. So I didn't really want to pursue it because I knew that I feel like I decided that it wasn't going to be pursuable to me.
I see,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was, I took that leap, and I didn't have equipment, I didn't have anything like to record my face, like I didn't have any mics. Like, it was just me and my phone,
Right.
Screen recording the gameplay, trying to interact with viewers, and it had a little bit of traction, So had I stuck to it, I probably could have branched off, but I feel like what held me back was the perfectionism that you're saying. So I feel like I broke off, and I was getting a little older, at that time. Like, I didn't really have too many friends per se, or like peers that I feel like would share that kind of commitment.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was what you would say cringe, or like maybe not relatable to like
Yeah,
I'd say like modern day or like older people. So I feel like I had just stopped so I wouldn't be maybe embarrassed to do so.
I see.
So I basically just wiped it, and as I'm getting older now, I started just branching into TikTok because I do have more peers and
Mm.
more family who are like a little bit more supportive of that kind of idealism.
Yeah.
And I took that leap once again, even now with more peers and more people who I feel like are going to be watching,
Right.
you know. And I feel like that also holds us back because it's like, do you want to be cringe or do you want to be, you know?
Mm.
So to me, it was another leap that I had to take, but at a different point in time.
I see.
So in a
Yeah.
different point in my life.
Mhm.
And when I did so, I had a different goal in mind. So the content that I'm trying to create right now and that I have been is with a goal in making like sort of establishing a community of like-minded individuals,
Okay.
and in doing so, like having yourself know your individualism.
Mhm.
So the people who are going to be watching my content are going to be people who are going to look more or maybe sought after looking who they are,
Right.
like,
Right.
and that's really all it is. So like self-awareness, individualism, and just a little bit of wisdom. Like you could only learn so much from your personal experience. And There's this quote that I like, and it goes, "Don't be a product of your environment. Have
Mm.
your environment be a product of you."
Mm. Okay. Yeah. So like be a leader, right?
Yeah. So be that gear or that turning point in creating your environment,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, let's say you're in a deconstructive environment around you, and it's like it goes back to the nature versus nurture,
Mhm.
right? And I feel like that's a heavy topic in itself, and I feel like it's both things. So my
Okay.
answer to that would be nature and nurture
Yeah.
is a culmination of both things.
Okay.
So it's like you can't choose, right, where you're born, your upbringing,
Mhm.
your family, your
Yeah.
immediate family, right? However, there's going to be a certain point in time where you can realize that, like, hey, my environment's not helping, it's deconstructive. So what is it that I can do, right? There's only so
Exactly.
much you can do,
Yeah.
right? But you could always have a change of scenery.
Mm.
You could always choose the people who you're around. There's guidance, there's leadership everywhere, and there's, let's say, like maybe almost 9 billion people on Earth, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, all right, this group of people around me who are closest to me at this time might not be supportive to me. Like you feel like you're always having to watch yourself, stepping around eggshells just to be in the place you are right now.
Mhm.
When if you were to experiment or go outside your perspective at this time, you can see that there are other people who are supportive, who have been where you are right now, right? And it's kind of like there's different angles to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of perspective to it, and I feel like it's the same thing as another quote where it's like, hang around 5 millionaires, chances are you'll be the sixth one.
Right.
So that ties into, for me, just being in your own, being comfortable in your own skin.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and it when you were saying that, it made me think of like there's two, like you have two factors, right? And there's contributing factors and then there's determining factors, right? And so like just like you said, um like I can't control where I was born. I can't control who my family members are. I can't
Right.
control like what disease I have, right? But those things are just contributing factors. I determine who I actually am, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I determine what my future is. I determine what I'm gonna do with the knowledge I have, the resources I have, right? Um, and people make that mistake where they think a contributing factor is a determining factor, and they initially like or basically they act like a victim, right,
Mm-hmm.
of their environment, and they're like,
Right.
oh, I can't do this because I'm this, right? Like I
Right.
can't do this because I'm Mexican, I can't do this because I'm an immigrant, or I can't do this because, but those are just contributing factors,
Right.
like So can you walk us through your process of what of the content that you're creating?
Yeah. So
Word of the day. Let's go.
yeah. So word of the day to me is something that I felt like I didn't really have a niche per se in creating content at this time, and I feel like having a niche is a lot easier in getting people's attention,
Uh-huh.
right? Having your target audience per se
Yeah.
right off the bat. I didn't have that per se right now. Like before, when I was recording and doing the little gaming content with Clash Royale, well, obviously I knew who my audience was, right? Now, whether or not that was going to blow up or not was going to be entirely up to me and my determination in keeping that content or being consistent with it.
Yeah.
However, now that I'm a little older and feel like I can touch bases on a little more, right? Like a broader scope of things. I realized that I'm like, where do I want to go with this? And word of the day to me is something that I did as an experiment. So I'm doing daily words on words that I'm choosing personally, right? Reading it by definition, and then having a little elaboration on what it means to me.
Right.
So I'm doing that alongside just a little engagement from the audience. I'll add something in at the end of the video also, like fact of the day, rant of the day, test your luck. Just a little bit of engagement just so that it's not, there's some variety to it.
Right. Yeah. And so, can you walk us through the whole process of you, like, from choosing the word all the way to posting to editing, and then how you're engaging with your audience?
Yeah, so I'm getting better with it.
Yeah.
Right, as it goes, like the practice makes perfect, right? Essentially, perfectionism aside, and that was
Yeah.
something that did hold me back, right? Like, I wasn't making content because I didn't have a mic, I didn't have like a camera, I didn't have a stand, and I realized like you see creators all the time, you can be influenced by anything and anywhere, right? So I had seen just people just record on their phone, and I have some friends that like make content already.
Right.
They would tell me, just use your phone, use your back camera, like
Yeah.
do it wherever, like there's nothing to it, like one step at a time. And seeing other people do it made me think to myself, why not me,
Exactly. Yeah.
So I took that step. I recorded with just my phone in my car, and I had ordered a mic, and I was waiting for it to come in. I didn't do my research, and it didn't fit with my phone. I had an interaction where I had to look for an extra piece of equipment just to make the mic work.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I had enough support from my family in this case, one of my cousins,
Oh yeah.
and
yeah.
he gave me a
Luigi?
mic, yeah. So he gave me a mic, and from there, I feel like I had a little bit more confidence because it's like, okay, like, I'm doing my own thing, but I feel seen,
Right,
having
right.
that support. And so with that, choosing a daily word for me, like prior to that, was just, what do I want to talk about? What do I feel like is going to be a culmination of things, right? So even the people who maybe English isn't their first language, I'd like for them to be included as well. So that's why I'm adding
That's
the
smart.
word by definition.
Yeah.
So I have just a dictionary app. I'm looking up the word that I'm deciding for the day, right? And I'll look it up, look up the definition, and obviously it's going to have, if it's a noun, adjective, and so on. So I'll just choose the definitions that I feel like I relate to more, or if I were to use it in a sentence that I would choose. And in doing so, I would repeat the definition of the word, right? And then what that word means to me, or in my perspective,
Yeah.
how I would use it, right? And in doing so, at the end of the video, I kind of just wanted some interaction or engagement with the audience, not just being told, you
Yeah.
can only absorb so much information. So it's like a lot of people right now are looking for entertainment aside from just learning, right? Like there's documentaries readily available, there's tutorials to do so, and a lot of people aren't looking at that, right, to expand on their own knowledge, be it, like how to farm, agriculture, like economics, right, literature. So I didn't want to have it to be a drag. So I wanted it to also have some form of entertainment along with the word of the day being like something that they can learn, you know,
Right.
like something
Yeah.
that is also broadening their experience, their knowledge.
Yeah.
So just having that interaction and that knowledge together is what I felt like would be something that I want to continue.
Mhm.
However, it's still just a stepping stone in the process of me getting to a higher audience, higher community, and a page, you know, where
Yeah.
like I want to have that stand figure, what I stand for, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, you're building your personal brand, bro, you
Right.
know? And like dude, I honestly like what you're posting. You know, I really do. We should actually do one together. That would be
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
That would be
I
really
would like
sick.
to do that.
And like, dude, it's just I love the simplicity of it too. Like for anybody that's like been struggling or like has been putting it off, like, dude, you are choosing a word and you're grabbing your phone and you're recording yourself and you're putting overlays on a video,
Right.
right? And like you're not trying to be anybody else, right? Like you're just being yourself,
Yeah.
and you're not overthinking it much, you know? And so like I just want to let people know how simple it is to create content, right? And like it's just I love it, dude, you know? I love the idea of it, and it's just so simple.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you feel like you have learned along the way in your content creation journey? And what are some of the principles that you have been applying to your content?
Okay. So content in itself right now, I'm currently only posting on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I feel like from what I've seen and experienced, a lot of people are saying that you should start on one platform, master that platform, and then start testing out, you know, a secondary platform, right? Before you just go all in and have it everywhere. So obviously, like, I feel like TikTok to me is a little safer as a guidance net, right? Like I feel like it's a little more simpler. I feel like it's easier for you to have that growth, like
I
expand.
see.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who engage. I feel like there's a lot of people on TikTok, right? You can have exposure on other platforms as well, but I feel like to me, I felt like that was the best starting place, right? Especially with the guidelines, the editing, the lives. I feel like TikTok in itself is its own community, and that's where I'm starting right now. Eventually, with me getting better at the content, so I'm just trying to do it daily and start to get committed with that, getting better with the editing, talking on camera, and engaging with the audience. So I'll look at other people's content, just even putting a comment, right? Like putting yourself out there also, like reacting to other people's comments. You put yourself out there,
Exactly.
right? And I feel like that has also helped with people engaging in my own content, just replying and commenting on other people's posts.
It's
reposting.
Like, yeah, it's like real life. Sorry to interrupt, but it's like real life,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like, if people are like complimenting me and I'm not saying anything, like what?
Yeah. No, and
Like,
it's realism, and
Yeah.
it's obviously on a smaller scale, but I wouldn't want people to think like even celebrities like now, like major celebrities, major streamers, major live people, you know, people who are already established in the community.
Yeah.
They're also people, you know, so I wouldn't want to be putting myself on a pedestal when I reach a certain point, right? Like I'm also a person, I'm an individual, and at the end of the day, you know, like I have room for improvement, room for growth, and I would want to establish a community where people are allowed to, you know, not having to feel like they can't talk to me.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like your profile or your branding yourself, right? Like for me on TikTok, right? Or where you are establishing yourself is still just a product of you. So I would want people to look at my TikTok or like to DM me, react to my content, knowing that I'm the one behind it.
Right.
So it's me as an individual making this kind of content, and I would want them to react to me. And, you know, like constructive criticism goes a long way. Like I'm okay with that. Like any additional feedback, you know, like how they actually react to the content. Like I would rather have that real opinion, that constructive criticism, as opposed to just people, like giving me a thumbs up, just liking, like I want that kind of interaction.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that I'm actually, hey, like, is this something that I need to work on for myself, right? Or for my page, like something that I can improve on. And likewise, like I also engage with other people's content
Yeah.
and just put myself out there for the exposure, and then what I do like about their content, I like what people talk about, and you can like kind of bounce off each other's idealisms, and I feel like I like that aspect as well.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You're gonna have to teach me a little bit of the TikTok, because
Yeah.
I've been mainly like on Instagram
Mhm.
and YouTube, just like long form, and then just couple of clips from the long form on Instagram. And so like I like how you're doing it on TikTok too,
Yeah.
and I see your personality in it, right? Like
Yeah.
I could see, like I'm super excited to watch you grow, because it's like it's just very genuine,
Yeah.
and people are attracted to that. Just like you said, like you're an actual person. People are watching an actual person, their actual personality, and it's just something simple. Like you're teaching people what a word means, what your thoughts on it, your thoughts are on it, and
Yeah.
like your experience
Yeah.
with it.
And that's how it is. Like currently, I would just feel that it's just like I said, a stepping stone. Like it is something that I want to keep doing as part of like my short content,
Yeah.
right? But alongside that, I do want to expand into having these long form conversations. So a lot of that, what that short content to me is just me putting myself out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So even without the mic, even without the camera, the ring light, like I just wanted to have my content there so that people can start seeing me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And without taking that step, you're always going to be the person behind the screen,
Exactly.
And you shouldn't be afraid of showing yourself, your true colors, because doing so, I feel like not being genuine with yourself is where you start having these hiccups in life,
Yeah.
And I feel like that's my goal in making this content, is like showing people that individualism is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I want to have that self-awareness in myself so that other people can have that confidence, right, to be themselves as well.
That's awesome. I love that, dude. What are some of the principles you feel like that you are applying to your content?
Okay, so with my content currently, I feel like there's also, like I mentioned before, like the niche.
Yeah.
So with not having that niche readily set, I feel like I just wanted to have some short form content where I can sort of elaborate how my thinking is with the words that I'm choosing,
Yeah.
how I'm elaborating on the words that I'm choosing in my words, and having that interaction or that engagement with my audience, right? So I currently don't have any long form content besides this, hopefully, right? And starting to do things similar to this on my own platforms, right? And I feel like my thought process behind that and the principles that I'm going to apply here onwards are the three things that I feel like you should know about yourself or decide for yourself in your individualism or your self-awareness.
I like that.
And the three principles being, I feel like these are just the three things that you could always ask yourself at whatever point in life you are, just to know yourself a little bit better and how you're handling things, is your values, your morals, and your passions.
Awesome. Can you expand on those a little bit?
Yeah.
Like say if I didn't know what that meant. Like what is it? What do those mean to you?
Okay. So expanding on those three things, as mentioned, like now that I'm a little older, right? Like I feel like I can look back at my previous self and ask myself these same questions, right? At the different points in time that I was at, right? And it's stuff that I didn't really take into account or in mind, like I feel like there's a few different things in life, and I'm at a point in life right now where I've already had a lot of experience in different things, being social with people, being unsocial, and just how it still relates to me. And I feel like these three things is something that you could always ask yourself, because at the end of the day, the one person who you're going to be with forever is yourself. So it's like having that self-respect, having that self-esteem, knowing these things about yourself will make your life a whole lot easier, because at the end of the day, it's your life.
Right.
So the values to me is, right, like, to me, my values would be, family, friends, and the difference between that and having your passions, right? Because it's your passions are going to be, for me now, it's like making the content, right? Having this individualism and trying to expand that knowledge into others,
Right.
And passions can be anything, and it can be ever changing, like, just as long as you're okay with it, because you could be influenced and try out different things, and I feel like that's the point. Like, you're gonna have your short-term and long-term goals, and just like that, you can have different hobbies, different passions that come and go. Like, there's gonna be some stuff that sticks and some stuff that doesn't, but at least you tried it.
Exactly.
Doing so and trying it for yourself helps you decide whether or not it's truly your passion, or if it's just a project. Aside from that, your morals, I feel like is how you handle yourself, right? And that's where you get your morals comes from, how you were raised, if you practice religion, and what you stand for, right? So I feel like the worst places that I've been in life have been when I have had to question my morals, So having that already decided beforehand will, I feel like, make it essential for you, like, when life comes along.
Yeah. Damn, that's so good, man. And that's funny because we were talking about this like 2 days ago, and I had never heard that before, So, but like now that I think about it, yeah, like I just look at those three things and it determines like what, like who I am, basically, right, or what I stand for, right. So like what would you say to anybody that is hesitant or scared to start creating content or start posting themselves online? What would you say to a person like that, but has been wanting to for a while?
Okay, so someone who I feel like wants to pursue making content,
Yeah.
be it what it may, and is afraid of taking that step. So, two people who are new to making content, and I'm new to it myself, but I feel like something that I feel like would help is just realizing how many people are there in the world, right?
Yeah.
How many niches are there in the world,
Yeah.
right? You're never going to please everyone, and you don't need to. And that's the thing. You talk about whatever you want to talk about, right? You make the content based off of what you want to make, right? So it's just really, the perfectionism is something that also holds you back, because it's like, oh, I want it to look good, I want to represent myself in the best way possible. And sometimes doing so is the difficult part, right? But it's a process. So I may not look the best or have the best representation of myself currently, but I'm working on it, So just taking that step and having that advancement, that progress to show for it, I feel like you can tell from the first video that I've made to my most recent video that I made, the progress that I've had, And it's really just that. It's just having the stepping stones, having that progress to show, and show yourself as well. So there's always that fear of starting, right?
Yeah.
But anyone everywhere, even the people who are most currently famous or more well established in the communities or the platforms, they had their first video.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's really just the consistency of that, and really just, I would just say, don't be discouraged if your environment or the people who are closest to you aren't supportive.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, you're never going to please everyone, but that self-awareness, that self-esteem, knowing that the content that you're making is something that you want for yourself or what you like to post is already that step.
Right. Right.
So not to be discouraged by others, even if they're not supportive. Like I said, there's going to be other creators,
Mm-hmm.
right? They could be in your niche, they can be without your niche, and they'll engage with you, they'll support you, right? Like, they'll give you the constructive criticism, take it,
Mm-hmm.
be it how it may, right? And just, I would say, take everything with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be some people who may not be encouraging you um, with the right intentions,
Right. Yeah.
with the right intentions. You know, like, so I feel like there's always going to be people watching just to see if you fail,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Or there's going to be people who are watching and they're not going to be watching with the intention of supporting until you make it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, you just got to keep those things in mind, right?
Mhm.
Like, always focus on yourself first, because at the end of the day, for the most part, you only have yourself, right? You're going to have that support, but it's the willingness to do it yourself that is going to separate you from others, you know. And having that willingness to express yourself how you are, unapologetically, right? Because it's like,
Right.
no one's going to be perfect, right? So I'm a representation of everything that I've lived, all of my experiences, and how I've dealt with those experiences, you know?
Mhm.
So it's like, I've always said that you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves.
Mhm.
And I still stand by that, because to take that step, you can have someone who is influencing you, like, you know, trying to help you take that extra step. But at the end of the day, you're the one
Exactly.
taking that step.
Exactly.
So if you feel like it's something that you would want to try, I would say at least try it, you know?
Yep.
And if it's something that you really want to pursue after trying it, knowledge is free. You know, the internet is free.
Exactly.
Like, there's going to be content anywhere you go now, right? There's going to be, like, the original forms of content was TV, you know, programming.
Yep.
So ads on TV, you know, television shows. And eventually I would want to expand on that, aside from my serious content, because it is something that I do want to have established for people, right? The self-awareness, the self-esteem, building that individualism.
Mhm.
Another one of my passions that I feel like I've always wanted to do since I was little, is making comedy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like entertainment-wise, it's also something that is big, but not only because it's big, but because I feel like it would be a different representation of me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
okay.
like, like, I feel like people are stuck on trying to be themselves in one form or one way, and I feel like, to me, it's incorrect, because you're always going to be changing on the daily,
Yeah. Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
And social battery is a real thing. So I'm not always going to have the patience to talk to someone, right, if I'm already going about my day in a negative way, or like in a negative emotion, you know.
Mhm.
Like, and we're never going to completely understand someone else's perspective, you know, what they've gone through already,
Mhm.
without the communication, right? So it's like, I would always not take anything too personally,
Right.
because you can never know what that person has been through, if they're doing it, you know, just because they've already had like a very stressful week, a very stressful day, and maybe they don't have the coping, or the, you know, that support to get through it on their own.
Mhm.
And so they you know, like, they'll hash out on you, like, you'll take the brunt of it, right? But keeping your composure, knowing what you really stand for, right, can help you deal with those situations.
Mhm.
And it's like, I wouldn't let this person's bad day affect me for my life.
Right.
So it's like, we can either both have a bad day, and then the chain continues that way, right? So they backlash on me. I bring it home to, you know, like, my partner, my family, my relatives and stuff, and then my whole circle becomes compromised. So knowing my individualism and knowing who I am, self-reflecting, will help me keep my composure, you know, having me, you know, expand off of that, right? And not take it home with me.
Right.
Aside from that, I feel like I got off topic there.
No, that's perfect though.
It's just like,
Cause it's true though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's true, because those what you're saying matters, because disruption always follows intention. So when you're intentional about doing something and setting a goal, there's always going to be disruption that follows. And that doesn't necessarily always mean that you're on a bad path, but it's going to mold you into the person
Yeah.
to achieve that goal, you know?
So obstacles in your way, is only going to.
And those are some of the obstacles,
Yeah.
right? You know?
Yeah. So it's really just like how you handle it, right? And I feel like at the end of the day, knowing yourself, being an individual, having that self-awareness, having that self-respect, the self-esteem.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter if you don't have the support, right? You're supporting yourself. You're going to be your own backbone, right? And it's great to have supportive friends, supportive family, supportive, peers, right? Who are going through the same things. At the end of the day, everyone's going to handle everything differently. We're going to cope with things differently, even though we may have encountered it the same way.
Yeah.
And it's really just you can find your people, taking that extra step doesn't mean that you're going to be alone, right? It's you take that extra step, you putting yourself out there, and in doing so, other people are going to have the confidence to put themselves out there, and it can just be, even if you're not making content, it can just be putting yourself out there and supporting, messaging or replying to my content, someone else's content,
right,
and letting them know that you're there, because it's I feel like as a content creator, maybe it could be a little detrimental, or discouraging, seeing how many views you have and having no interactions.
Yeah.
Right? And that's completely normal. Let's say I post something and I only have 300 views, right? Out of those 300 views, it's the same 10 comments, right? Same 10 comments, same 10 likes, and it could be from peers, family, right? Those 300 views is going to be people who are going about their everyday lives,
Yeah.
and not everyone's going to have that understanding or have that concept in mind when they come across it.
Yeah.
They can be at a different point in time than what I'm at, right? So I feel like watching something all the way through, knowing if it's if it's for you, and it's like what I was saying with the social battery, right? And that's just in person. That happens also out of context with the people in your life as well.
Yeah.
So when you're with yourself, when you're doom scrolling, when you're on the content with yourself, right? Sometimes you're only there for the entertainment, maybe you do have something else in mind, right? Or maybe you already have your niche that you're looking for, or maybe you're looking for something specifically, right?
Right.
So it's me personally, if I'm going to see someone else's content and it's just entertainment, I would view it with a broader scope. Okay, is this person trying to be entertained? Is this their end goal? Or maybe it's not their end goal. Maybe it's just their short-term goal.
Right.
And you can have a culmination of things, right? Building who you are, your page, yourself, your individualism, and your expression of yourself. So I feel like it's not a bad thing, and that's what I'm saying about showing different sides of yourself, and it could be personal.
Exactly.
And it can be personal, for me, I feel like my content right now is maybe just showing a depiction of myself where I'm more serious, right? But the people who know me, the people who are more closer to in my everyday life, know that I can be funny, know that I'm joking, right? That I have my humor, my sense of humor. And it may not be something that I'm expressing right now to my audience or to my, my brand currently, but it's something that I feel like is you pace yourself, right? And especially as a content creator too, because it's if I'm not comfortable with myself as this serious topic, right? Then how can I broaden my horizons or expand myself to express myself in a way that I know I'm not? So it's I feel like a lot of people are trying out the content just to be viral, just to be in the same steps as someone that they've already seen. And not to undermine how they feel or how they're going about it, right? I feel like there's no wrong way to go about content, but I feel like you can find that influence in someone else, right? That inspiration. but it doesn't exactly mean that that's who you are exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like if you were, to me, it's more of like, I don't like jumping the gun and getting ahead of myself. But if I were to be, let's say, by example, if I were to make it to these heights where all these viral people are, right?
Yeah.
Do I lose my sense of individualism? Do I
Mhm.
lose my sense of self?
Mhm.
So it's like, and I feel like that would be so much harder to achieve and not losing yourself
Mhm.
if you're chasing this viral concept, right?
Mhm.
So let's say I do go viral, but it's by copying someone else's content,
Yeah.
being the same as this other person, right? Trying to essentially like doppelganger, like copycat,
Right.
like putting yourself in their shoes, right? You can have an inspiration for things, but you gotta have your own way of going about it, right?
Mhm.
Like putting your 2 cents, right? So I feel like having your individualism is so much better than piggybacking off of someone else's
Exactly.
idea.
Exactly.
And it's like there's no, to me it's not a bad thing. Like there's going to be trends everywhere.
Mhm.
But doing a trend and having it in my form is going to be way better than doing it exactly, you know, uh, page by page
Exactly. Yeah.
of someone else, and how they're handling it.
Mhm.
Just because you saw that they're doing well or that it went viral, how they depicted it.
Mhm.
I feel like you can get inspiration from it, but at the end of the day, if you're not having that individualism or expressing yourself right into that topic or that theme, then it's going to be more detrimental in the long term.
Hey, I wanted to take a quick second and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. Hope you're enjoying the conversation as much as I am. If these videos have impacted you in any way possible, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button. And if there's anything that you would like to see, whether it be like character development, something that has to do with recovery or spiritual growth, let me know in the comments and I'll implement it on my next video. Once again, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Exactly, exactly. I love that, dude. I absolutely love that. Cause like it shows your humanity, right? And like it by like building a personal brand, you got to show your humanity, right? Like yeah, you're building a reputation for yourself online, but people aren't attracted to corporations anymore, right? Like they're attracted to being connected with a human being through a screen, right?
Yeah.
Like as weird as it sounds, like that's how it is right now, And I actually just learned about this framework too, and how to show if somebody doesn't really know how to express themselves online. There is this framework that I found. It's called the 5 F's, right? And it's something that everybody can sort of connect with, and that's family, right? Showcasing your family online. The other F is faith, right? Showcasing your faith. The other one is fitness, showcasing like fitness, fashion, the way you dress, and there was another one. Oh, and food, like everybody can relate to that, but all sorts of people have different types of food
right.
tastes, and like that's not going way off your niche, but you're kind of showing that, hey, like I'm a human being, I like all this stuff, right? Like this is how I dress, this is how I eat, this is my faith, right? And you'll attract the people that you attract, you're attracting the people that you like that are meant to be attracted by you, and you're not trying to be anybody else,
Yeah.
So what's the impact that you like? What is your goal? Like what kind of impact do you want to make with your content?
So I think about this a lot, and I imagine myself, because I feel like having that tunnel vision to get to a certain point is going to help you get to that point. Right. So not losing sight of your main goal is going to help your short-term goals be stepping stone milestones to get to that point, right? So I feel like my long-term goal would be to have that influence, because at the end of the day, being an influencer it matters how you're influencing people, right?
Right.
It's not, to me, it's not just getting to the point where I can advertise just to get myself stable, right?
Right.
To me, it's being able to have that connection with people, right, and having them understand themselves and have that individualism by me expressing myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in me doing so, inspiring others to take that step. Now, and that step can not only be content creation, like it's yourself, like I mentioned, is going to be the rest of your life, so having that self-respect, having that self-esteem, that self-awareness is going to take you where you want to be in life, right, as long as you're okay with it.
Right.
So it's like knowing yourself is knowing your life.
Exactly.
So it's like it's all you yourself are a culmination of things, and that's what I'm saying is like your experiences, right, your surroundings, right, your environment,
right.
So your experience, your environment, and how you express yourself. So to me, my long-term goal is being stable enough to have a decent influence to impact others, right?
Right.
Collaborations with people who are trying to support their own business, right? Me being able to have that type of influence so that like I can actually have people reach out from my following, like I would love to support small businesses, seeing what other people stand for. And just like as you were mentioning, like I've had 3 different call center jobs, right? And I love talking to people, but I don't like the corporate form of having to talk to people.
Right,
like,
right.
I feel like I'm forced to be in this setting where I'm having to problem solve, but to me it's just like it feels like these people are just a number, instead of like being an individual. And
Bros in the Matrix.
Yeah, so I love talking to people and actually knowing where they come from, how they express themselves, what they stand for, their morals, their values, their passion,
exactly,
like I was mentioning, without feeling forced. Like I want to have that desire to know these people, right? To have that community, to have those interactions with people. To me, my long-term goal is that, like, having that following or that influence to be able to support others, in expressing myself.
That's awesome, dude. I love that, man. Yeah, so I love what you're doing, bro. I'm looking forward to everything that you have in mind, man. And yeah, I'm looking forward to do everything that we're gonna do. You know what I mean? It feels like everything is just going. Cause it's just Like,
the pieces are falling.
Yeah, the pieces are falling together. Especially with Luis making content.
Yeah.
You making content, right? Like Andres and stuff, and so it's gonna be good, man. So thank you for getting on. Can you tell everybody where they can find you? Where can people connect with you, bro?
So currently I'm still just having my content on TikTok. So you can find me at the @ symbol, right? The @ so it'd be at Randalion64 on TikTok.
Randalion?
Yeah, Randalion.
I thought it was Randillion.
Randalion64, however you want to pronounce it, it's fine. To me, it's just something that kind of like stuck. I like that
though. I like that. That's fresh.
So I have that, and then you can follow me on Instagram. I don't really post content per se on Instagram yet. I feel like it's a different platform that I would eventually reach out to, but to me that's more of a personal. So you can find me at Randed64 on Instagram, or just Randy and Zunza is my government name, right? And just interacting with my comment, DMing me, any questions, personally, any collaborations. I like to go live on TikTok. That's something that I'm trying out separately. To have that different kind of audience, that different kind of engagement. So, this type of content as well, either having a podcast or a long-term, or like long-form content. I'm thinking of expanding on YouTube, right? And just like broadening my horizons,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thanks so much, dude. Thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah.
With the fresh cut too.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me here. It was exciting, like having this type of setting, the experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's good. That's it, bro. That's it.